Yesterday, the FDA announced it's planning to remove virtually all nicotine from cigarettes. Now, nicotine is not the thing that gives you cancer. Nicotine is the thing, it's addictive, but it also increases mental acuity. But they're taking that out. According to the Wall Street Journal, the agency will also ban Juul e-cigarettes. Now, what happens when you get off nicotine? Well, your testosterone levels plummet and you gain weight, both of which the administration is for because you become more passive and easier to control.
Simple, more passive, easier to control. Tucker Carlson's upset about this decision to potentially take Juul e-cigarettes off the market because once you run out of your nicotine, your balls dry up and then you lose all testosterone and then suddenly you gain. What is it about gaining weight that makes you passive and easily controlled? What's he saying about folks that have weight issues in the country? I'm just wondering. Anyway, this wasn't just Tucker Carlson that's upset about this. In fact, I'm not sure he even smokes Juuls. There is another guy at Fox News that does apparently smoke those, and he's not very happy either. Watch.
Now, the Wall Street Journal reporting that after a 2-year review, the FDA will order Juul to remove its e-cigarettes completely from the US marketplace. Back in 2018, the FDA and others started blaming Juul's hip advertising and fruity flavors for a surge in underage vaping. This will be devastating. Juul can appeal the decision or revise its application for products, but Sean, both of those take a bunch of time and a whole lot of money. Sean.
They ban it, and I'll do it live on TV, and they can come and arrest me. How's that? All right, Trace Gallagher, unbelievable.
All 16-year-olds named Cooper at home going, that's right, Sean. Stick it to Miss Williams, because she caught me in the bathroom smelling like watermelon kiwi. So they're all upset. They're up in arms. They're trying to figure out how they're gonna come from this. But this actually, in case you guys are wondering if Sean Hannity was just kind of doing this for the I guess the clout. No, he's serious. Watch this, remember this?
Uh-oh. Now our villain of the day, Adam Schiff, Eric Swalwell.
You know what? I refuse to believe that was actually an accident. That was actually a funny moment, I think, from Hannity trying to poke fun at himself for his Juul smoking. So really fast, actually, you know what? Before we get to what people are doing in response to this, I want to get your first thoughts about the Fox News uprising over this entire thing.
Well, look, maybe there's a silver lining here, right? I mean, if Fox is so upset over Juul being taken away, maybe they can join the bandwagon and be so upset about states that want to somehow outlaw marijuana. I mean, we should be legalizing all forms of smoking and drugs, and then people can just decide, can we smoke it in a business or a Fox News studio, where I believe the HR policy is no, you can't smoke Juuls or cigarettes or anything else. But I welcome the Fox News personalities. You want to stand up for this, that's fine. Stand up for the legalization of drugs, join the club.
Well, that's of course. I mean, there's no way they're going to push that because who's paying them to do that? I think off the top, also Tucker Carlson pointed out how you have a better mindset. Like I'm sure he said clarity of mind, something along those lines that nicotine will do for you. People also say the same thing about marijuana. Just saying, in case we want to start nitpicking those things. Let's go to graphic 3 because I want to talk about the actual things that do happen potentially. Because in case people forgot, vaping is not good for you. Back in 2019, reports began to emerge of cases of severe lung damage in young people that were later linked to vaping or e-cigarette use. And as of February of 20, the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recorded more than 2,800 such cases that resulted in hospitalizations and deaths. Will Teasley, 20 years old, a college senior at North Carolina A&T State University, is happy the FDA is pulling Juul off the shelves, but thinks it'll do little to discourage young people from vaping because there's so many other products available, which is probably pretty true. He says Juul is the device that opens the door to cause lifelong addiction, he said. But for him, the FDA's move comes too late. He said it already got me. One more thing about that testosterone raising and nicotine, because some studies do say yes. Well, total and free testosterone levels increase significantly with increasing number of cigarettes smoked daily. Smoking men had a 15% higher total and 13% higher free testosterone levels compared with men who never smoked. Other people say no. They say present results show that nicotine significantly decreases serum level of testosterone, FSH, and significantly increases the circulating levels of prolactin and LH. All that scientific and smart guy talk that I can't say I fully understand. But The one thing that does come though, I mean, there's plenty of other things on the market for Tucker. I wish we had the image of this, but Tucker and the rest of his cohorts to think about. Because remember his ball warming scenario, and he had a whole documentary on how men have to start warming their balls so that they can increase their testosterone levels. That's the guy that I would probably not trust with his thoughts about e-cigarettes. And of course, the way they've marketed to young folks, that is the main thing here, as they've also tried to change those things. Honestly, they are all over the place. And I wonder if Juul is kind of getting the short end of the stick here.
Well, and to your point, I mean, look, these Juuls, they are, they're dangerous. They're not healthy. And I'm bewildered when here are the Fox News personalities who seriously, I mean, we can agree, Juul, cigarettes, all that sort of stuff, it's not good for you. But there's Fox News, which preaches responsibility, that parents should be responsible. We should be setting good role models for kids, and we should be making sure that kids are not drinking and driving, and they're not using drugs, and that they're not. But no, it's okay for them to smoke because, hey, Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, I think it's cool, and this is going to help me. And it's the message that Fox News is sending. They are such hypocrites, and I wish somebody would somehow take one of those Juuls and shove them up where the sun doesn't shine of Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity. But that's a whole other issue.
We also see where attitudes change once money's involved. Because John Boehner was completely against any kind of marijuana use, and now he's the biggest pusher and lobbyist for it because it's become legal in a certain number of states. He's the biggest proponent now. Don't forget that part. Politicians and pundits, they'll do what the money tells them to do. And by the way, small piece of my last thought on this. Maybe they are getting the short end of the stick, but it seems like it's specifically Juul. Maybe there's more to them that's this, but I'm along the lines that, if your kids end up smoking this stuff, that is something you have to try and regulate yourself. Because I am on the let people do what they want to do. Now, if they're kids, that's where parents come in, and when it's illegal, when a certain ages can't buy it, all that can be put into place. But I wonder if they're kind of getting shafted here. Maybe I'm wrong on that.